talk a bit about your own university education, Dermot? You studied at Middlesex University.
I did, yeah.
Which is a fine establishment. I know it well.
What, now?
It's just off the ring road.
It's a fine establishment now. Or...
Wasn't it then?
It was all right. There weren't enough books in the library, so it's one of those degrees where you just went, okay, I'll go and look that up, and you realise that.
Did you say there were no books, or no library, or no books in the library?
There weren't enough books in the library, so I.
But who reads books anyway at university? It's not what it's for, is it?
Well, my lecturers did, so I sort of needed to try and get more than the 2-2, which I didn't.
Tell us a bit about that experience at university. Was it late nights, girls, parties, the usual story?
It wasn't, actually. I didn't really enjoy the first year of university that much, just because I had a fantastic sixth form and I loved it, and I did A-levels and suddenly found myself in London, and which is where I really wanted to be. But Middlesex had quite a lot of mature students. There wasn't really a campus feel, and I deliberately didn't want to go to a campus university. I wanted to go to a city. So it wasn't as much fun as I thought it would be. But then, after a while, you just sort of you get used to it, and you find a nice group of friends, and you live a student's lifestyle in London.
What did you read there?
I did politics and media.
Interesting. So, did you get involved with student politics when you were there?
No. I didn't have any interest in joining a political party. I'm just interested in politics. So, I really enjoyed my studies there, and I've never been active in politics. I love party politics. I love watching Question Time, and I started out when I was a runner. As my first job, I started out in a politics documentary company, which I really enjoyed.
Oh, right. The NUS, I don't know whether you know, is currently fighting to stop politicians raising the cap on tuition fees, which would mean that they would be able to charge up to, I think, £30,000 per student. What's your view on that? Shouldn't education be free?
I know. Well, it was when I was there. I certainly think education should be free. Yeah. I mean, I got my student fees paid for, and then my dad was doing okay, so I didn't get a grant, so I just took a couple of loans, and my dad helped me out, and so I sort of paid him back as best I could. And it just seems desperately unfair now that people don't get a free education.
And have you paid your debt back fully now, Dermot?
And then some.
I should think so. One final thing I'd like to talk to you about.
He's doing just fine, let me assure you.
The biggest gig I think probably you ever had, apart from X Factor, was it not introducing Michael Jackson?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I saw that that night. There was a huge delay between the time that you introduced Michael coming on stage and him coming on.
You have no idea.
When he actually appeared, what was going through your head?
I was thinking, thank Christ you're here. And the funny thing was, there was a massive gap between me introducing the VT and the VT going out, and then there was a massive gap between me saying it. And I was caught in no man's land, because I just thought, what I can't do is try and fill now, because if I try and fill the time, he's just going to walk out behind me,
killing your punchline entirely.
Well, also I'll get murdered from the people that have booked me for the gig, because there's supposed to be this big entrance on a lock-off shot where Michael Jackson walks out, and if I can, and I think I just said he's going to come out any second. I'm looking behind me thinking, Christ, if he comes out now, I'm dead. Then getting out of shot, and then I'm just thinking, is he gonna? And I didn't know what to do, because I just thought, well, I can talk to the audience and get them revved up, but if I do that and he walks out, it's just going to spoil the whole thing, and I'll be murdered for it. So I just had to sort of not be afraid of the silence and just wait for him to come out.
Did Simon Cowell's fearlessness message come back to you at that point?
It's
as you were like a rabbit caught in the headlights.
You have no idea. It's imprinted.
You died 1,000 deaths and you wished the floor could swallow you up. I've been there myself many times.
Yeah.
But what did he say to you before he spoke to the audience? Because he said something to you.
This is oft reported, but unfortunately it's relatively innocuous. He just whispered in my ear, "Is the teleprompter on?" And I was like, I just said to him, yeah, it is, because, I didn't have any scripted lines, and I said, yeah, you've got, there's your speech. And so he went over and then essentially just ignored the teleprompter completely and just said, this is it, because this is it, about 3,000 times, and then punched the air, did a little dance, and then went off. And that was it. But I tell you what, how little I know. I mean, it's tragic that he died and so forth. But he gave me this hug, and all I could think of when he was hugging me was, man, this guy's in great shape.
You had a feel?
Oh, I did, yeah. Which goes to show how much I know, because he obviously, died 3 months later.
Yes. Dermot, can I say thank you very much indeed for agreeing to talk to Kaboosh. It's been a great pleasure having you on, and may I wish you every success with the X Factor.
Thank you, Peter. Say it again. The X Factor.
The X Factor.
Thanks.
It's time for the end of the interview.
That's genius. Thanks, Peter.
It's time. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for listening. Join us again next time on Kaboosh, the podcast. Kaboosh! Coming up on Kaboosh, the podcast. Exclusive interviews with JLS, Simon Cowell, Joe Pasquale, Bob Mortimer, and Piers Morgan, to name but a few. Nice. Don't forget to look me up on Facebook.
Oh dear. Sorry about that. And now. If you've just seen what I've seen, you'd be laughing too. Oh, I say.
I enjoyed that. Oh yes, one more thing. I've now got an email address on the interweb. So if you'd like to get in touch, send an email to podcast@kaboosh.net. Use it for general abuse, feedback, and questions for forthcoming interviews that you'd like me to put to the great and good. That sort of stuff. Also, don't forget to log on to kaboosh.net for future podcast shows and loads of other stuff you don't need, but really want. Kaboosh!